Welcome back, my favorite Earth humans. This is Alien Space Traveler, and this is part two with the Elon Musk interview. Uh, Sorry, I actually had to hang up on him last time because I had another phone call and I kind of rudely hung up on him without letting him know. Sorry about that, Elon. I hope you really don't mind. Getting back to business here, what about this Twitter merger? You call it, X.com now, right? Can you elaborate on this and, let the folks know, what your side of the whole thing is? There's kind of been a lot of changes around there, huh?
Yeah, I think they did change somewhat. Um, our goal with the sort of the X platform is really to be a level playing field, a public square that is supportive of you know most of the country. Let's say that the middle 80% or something like that. Now, that has not been the case really for all social media. All social media have been really very left-leaning to far left-leaning, and really Twitter was far left-leaning voices on on old Twitter. What I'm trying to do is move it to the middle, which from the standpoint of say the left appears it is moving to the right. Everything's relative if you're standing on the left, but it's not. It's simply moving to the middle. That's all. In an attempt to actually represent the whole country, and not just half the country or even maybe less than half the country. So that's it really. So I think there's really nothing to be alarmed about here. It's just that it's intended to be a town square inclusive of the whole country and also and the world. That's all. Yeah, well, I should say we've recently seen a significant increase in advertising, which is great. So that's if that trend continues, I think the company will be in very good financial shape on the advertising front. So that, in terms of positive developments, that seems to be one of them. From a feature standpoint, I think that those who are using the system, I think we might have delivered a little bit more new features, in the last year than in the last all Twitter did in 5 years. There's really the feature development pace is very rapid, and this has been done with really about 15% of the original company, maybe a little more, 15 to 20%. So it's really efficient. At the end of the day, you have to say, how complicated is a system like the X Twitter platform? How different is it from a group chat? Frankly, it's like a group chat at scale. So I don't think you need an army to maintain a group chat. The entire self-driving AI software team is 200 people. And what they're doing is much more complex than Twitter. There's other things that obviously need to be done, like advertising sales, obviously network operations, and but no, it's really not. It's not a huge. I don't like I said. Don't need an army for what we're doing here. And I think the people that are still at the company are obviously being very productive in creating and delivering new features. We keep seeing sort of record usage, and the most rigorous number is really the user seconds as reported by the mobile device, especially iOS. The iOS, what iOS reports as the screen time is the least gainable metric, and those numbers are very good. I think I'm cautiously optimistic about where things are headed, and I feel like the company's just recently turned a corner. It's headed for at least moderate prosperity and hopefully significant. Yeah, I mean, it stands to reason that if you're a creator and you need to make a living for what you're doing, so there's got to be fair compensation and competitive compensation for creator, whether they're doing, they're writing or pictures, video, whatever the case may be. So we're not really inventing anything new here. We're just, as YouTube does with creators, they will do rev share with advertising, and so we're doing rev share with advertising. We're also, obviously have enabled direct subscription to accounts where whatever somebody, you could be doing audio, video, long form text, anything, and you can subscribe to someone, and that's, obviously that's a way for a subscriber to make a living as well, or for a creator to make a living. So the intent is for the X platform to be the best home for creators, where if you've got interesting content, then you want to put it on our platform. And, there's a lot of questions about, sort of the algorithm and whatnot. I should mention, the algorithm is, I think, almost all of it is open sourced, and we will, I think, quite soon have the entire thing open source. The only reason it really hasn't been done entirely open source yet is because we're somewhat embarrassed with the code and need to just clean it up before putting something extremely embarrassing out there. But the point is that, we want transparency builds trust, and if you've got, if you can recreate the results on the X platform of how viral a post is going to be independently using the public algorithm, the open source algorithm, that's really where we want to get to. So you kind of know what to expect. And why something happened. Now I should say that we are trying to optimize for user time on the platform. What this naturally means is that posting content that someone looks at longer is going to get higher priority than content that is short. Just because the system is trying to it's aspiring to maximize unregretted user minutes, is what I call it. So, basically, how do we, if we're succeeding, you want to spend more time on the platform, and you want to, and after having spent that time, you don't want to regret it. Speaking of TikTok, I've heard a lot of people tell me they spend a lot of time on TikTok and they regret it. We don't want to be. We want it to be that you spend a lot of time on the X platform and you learned a lot, you were entertained, and you don't regret it. So when you're optimizing for user minutes, and like I said, aspirationally unregretted user minutes, if you post, the more content that you post on the system, the more reach that thing will get, because the system is saying, the user is spending more time on the platform, because they're seeing, say, your podcast or reading a long form article or watching some video. That's going to get a lot more time than, say, if you link to a video elsewhere or you link to an article elsewhere. That means you'll be on that post for a very short period of time, and so the system will be like, okay, that did not increase user time. So it won't be excluded, but it will get less attention than actually posting content natively on the system. I think we'll have to see about that. The fact of the matter is that ADL did initiate a boycott. They don't call it a boycott, they call it a pause. But, a pause that is never ending is a boycott. So it's the same thing. We saw a massive drop in U.S. advertising. We saw basically no change in advertising in Asia, but domestically with ADL is strong, we saw 60% drop in advertising. So, that's pretty intense. And this is despite, showing repeated analyses of the system, including third-party analysis of the system, which actually showed that the number of views of hateful content declined. So, the third parties who have all the data analyzed and said, actually, there's less hate speech. The issue, I think, with the ADL is not a question of hate speech. It's not a question of anti-Semitism, obviously. It's that the ADL and a lot of other organizations have become activist organizations which are acting far beyond their stated mandate or their original mandate. And I think far beyond what donors to those organizations think they are doing. I think we'll have to see about that. I mean, the fact of the matter is that ADL did initiate a boycott. They don't call it a boycott; they call it a pause. But a pause that is never ending. We saw a massive drop in U.S. advertising. We saw basically no change in advertising in Asia, but domestically with ADL is strong. We saw 60% drop in advertising. So that's pretty intense. And this is despite showing repeated analyses of the system, including third-party analysis of the system, which actually showed that the number of views of hateful content declined. So, the third parties who have all the data analyzed and said, actually, there's less hate speech. The issue, I think, with the ADL is not a question of hate speech. It's not a question of anti-Semitism, obviously. It's that the ADL and a lot of other organizations have become activist organizations which are acting far beyond their stated mandate or their original mandate. And I think far beyond what donors to those organizations think they are doing. One of the things that the ADL was extremely opposed to, and in fact was instrumental in happening, was that the ADL was instrumental in getting Donald Trump deplatformed. And then when we restored the account, they made it super clear that they regarded simply restoring his account on Twitter, now X, that constituted hateful speech. He hasn't even said anything. He has to at least say something or post something for there to be incremental hateful content. This is absurd. And what's this got to do with anti-Semitism? Donald Trump's son-in-law is Jewish. He's Jewish grandchild. I'm pretty sure he's not anti-Semitic. Okay. Yeah. He's at the wedding. So. The problem is that a lot of these organizations, like I said, they've really been captured by the woke agenda, and they're pushing, a series of beliefs and values that I think are often contrary to what their donors believe.
Thanks again now to all my subscribers for all your continued support. And if you're not a subscriber, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. And if you don't, that's fine. Don't worry. I'm not going to come and probe you. But you will miss out on a ton of great content and some alien insight. Space Traveler signing out. For now. Anyway.